Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching us, and welcome to Tabasamu Tena with me, Patricia. This is the place where we are going to empower you with the real causes of behavior problems in people. We are also going to inspire you to take back your life and ultimately smile again. Today, we are having a very interesting conversation. And I just want to ask you, our viewer, can you be single and married at the same time? Can you be married and single? And engage us. We want to hear what you want to say. We are on all the social media platforms. Facebook is Tabasamu Tena with Patricia TV Show. Instagram, Tabasamu Tena with Patricia TV Show. Our YouTube channel is Tabasamu Tena TV Show with Patricia. And our Twitter handle is Destiny Barriers, hashtag Tabasamu Tena with Patricia. As usual, I want to begin the show by reading a quote that inspired me pertaining our topic of discussion today. And it reads like this. If you stay too long in a bad situation, you'll forget it's bad, get comfortable while your best years of your life pass you by. Learn to end things before they end you. And by the way, this quote is by one of our panelists. I have an amazing panelist to have a discussion. I'd really want to remind you, and it's really a question, can you be single? Because I know there are very many ways and reasons to be single. You can be single as in you've never been married, never been in a relationship, probably you're single and searching. You can be also separated, you can be divorced, you can be widowed, you can be a widower, but there's one that is really intriguing. You know, it's kind of controversial really. How can you be married and single at the same time? And joining me on set to have this very intriguing conversation is the very vocal, outgoing, eloquent Benjamin Zulu. Benjamin Zulu is a counseling psychologist and a life coach. And of course, the cool, collected, calm, very beautiful Joanne Kirera. She is a marriage therapist. Yes, marriage. So she's going to tell us if you can be married and single at the same time. So now, I want to ask all of you, can you be married and single at the same time? I thought it was either or. You can either be married or single. Can you be married and single?
Yeah, you can be married de jure in law, but single de facto, in fact. If you're married socially, or you have this certificate, you have this socially, but inside there, you're already abandoned. Emotionally, there is no longer emotional connection. There is no longer we. It's you alone. I can't tell you how often I hear people telling me, I'm alone in this marriage. I'm alone here. You know, I'm in this alone. So it's not whether. We should be discussing why, and then so what. When we grew up, many of our mothers were up country, and our fathers were in the city. And the mothers were the parent at home, really. Daddies would sometimes show up once in so long, you know. Na akikuja, it's news in the village. Baba nani amekuja. You know, it was not usual. Today, we have changed from that. Women are also working. They're no longer just staying at home.
Yeah.
But you can be the same house physically, coming back to the same place, but you're still alone. So today, being married and single has just changed form. It is still there in practice. But you see, we have this image of having to look fine. So we have to smile out here in church. There are three places we must pretend. Around relatives.
Come on, tell us.
Around relatives, in place, workplace, and in church. Those are the three places where you have close contacts. And because your reputation matters there, you must act like you're okay. But a keen eye can see deep in your face there's no happiness. When you smile down here, up here there's no smile. Eyes don't lie. You can't fake joy with your eyes. You can fake with your lips because it's all about the smile. Yeah, we are okay. But the eyes don't glow. So you can always see people have deep sadness and they're acting fine when they are not. So it's not hard to tell a woman who is alone in a marriage.
John.
I am picking from a woman who is alone.
Uh-huh.
Speaking as if it is just women.
A woman who is alone. I wanted to ask that.
Yeah, I have seen the way.
You have seen the way he said.
I knew you are both of them here, so I knew you represent the other side. I didn't want to exhaust your part.
You said your own. You said your own.
Okay. Joanne.
See, most men are alone in marriage, and so are women. So even if I do not have any data to show, but because I am seated with people, men and women in my office. I know either party can be single. And most of the time, even the people who are single don't know they are single.
Aha, so you can be single and you don't know.
Yes,
Now
yes,
you
yes,
brought another
yes.
twist. So how
Yes,
so?
now the question is, what is a marriage to you?
That was, I wanted to ask you that. What is marriage? You know, probably we don't even know. What is marriage? You are a marriage therapist.
Yes, yes.
So tell us probably what is marriage?
And I will go back to the couple getting married. What does marriage mean to them? Because it's different for most of us. But now
It varies, eh?
Yes, it
Individuals.
varies.
Different couples have different whatever. It varies.
It's a couple that defines what marriage is to them. Now, the reason why most people are single is because to one, they are married. To the other, they are single. Reason, they did not see to define what marriage is to them. So to one, it's just a question of living together, having children, and presenting to the society a marriage.
No, Joanne, you see me, from where I come from, I mean, why do you get married? You only go to for what you, I mean, what is marriage? Tell us. Don't don't tell us to define. We cannot define what we don't even know first and foremost.
Yes.
Marriage may vary for different people, but at least there is something that we have in common. So at least a marriage, there are commonalities. So give us at least 3 or 4 commonalities, something that will make it a marriage, that now you call it marriage.
Okay, now
give us 4 common, general.
You've asked a good question. Number one, 2 people who are working together. 2 people working together, I mean it can be diverse, but let me go to the part of who are well bonded. They are emotionally connected.
Emotionally connected.
Yes.
Okay.
They are meeting each other's needs.
Yeah. Meeting each other's needs. You know, I'm repeating so that they hear.
Yes. This is sexual needs, physical needs, emotional needs, and even the needs of promoting each other person to become the best they were created to be.
So it is not one party making the other one happy. It
That's
is not the woman making the man happy so that he does not go.
And that is what I said. There are people who are single and who don't know they are single actually. Because your work is to build the other person, whichever party this is. If you're only building the other person, and since you got married, you stopped existing, then you are actually single and you lost yourself.
Can I interject?
Yes.
It's possible to have a deadbeat husband, but it's impossible to have a deadbeat wife.
Come on, say that again. What did you say?
It's possible to have a deadbeat husband. He just marries you and disappears. Or he stops playing the role.
Okay.
But a woman cannot be deadbeat in her own home. By instinct, if this is I'm not talking about sick women, I'm talking about a healthy woman. She cannot disappear from her children, disappear from the house, disappear. She will spend, borrow, invest until she's crashing with depression. That's why men can afford to disappear.
But how
and the
many
home is
people
still
think
standing.
that? I mean, you need to shout that louder. People need to understand, because whenever we say this, we are told that we are feminists. But I've been called a feminist enough times.
It's okay. It's okay. If you know what you're doing, don't worry the titles. Jesus was called a demon. So,
Come on, man.
so part of it is to say this. The reason I focused more on women is because women have a need to show society that they can sustain a home. There are so many biases that have been burdened, laden among women, that the group I need to liberate more is women. Men are also suffering, but statistically, 85% of domestic abuse is done by men to women, 15% done by women to men. So the larger percentage, we are not neglecting the men who are suffering. But when a man suffers, he is suffering because of a reverse ego, a need to show he's still in charge, that he can still control. He cannot act like he has been abused. He needs to show that he's on top, although in actuality he's at the bottom. Women suffer for a reason society can see. Men have so much permission to have side chicks. If a woman attempts to have a side boy,
Prostitution.
so, number one, I'm saying it's impossible for a man to get a woman and she has no effect in his life. I cannot be home.
From there.
Okay,
Pick it, please. Pick it up.
All right,
Pick
let
it
me
up.
say then.
finish.
If I bring a woman in my life, she'll either take me up or down. She cannot stay in my life and I'm still the way I was. Either she will hurt me deeply or help me deeply. I have not seen a man who married a woman and she said, I think I need another girl. This one never shows up. Even if she's crazy and drinking, she'll make sure she makes your life a circus. No other woman can come close there. So if she's not virtuous, she's dramatic. I only know of those 2 kind of women. I don't know of a deadbeat woman. I only know
let me
about
pick from
toxic
here.
or useful. Continue.
Allow me to pick from here. This woman who has pushed the man, made the man everything that the man can be, and she forgets herself. She ends up being a deadbeat.
To herself, not to the
To
marriage.
herself, to the children, because you're busy fixing the man.
And
you're
forgetting,
busy
neglecting
fixing
every other.
Yes, until you forget. When you lose yourself, you have nothing to give. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Your cup has to be full for you to give. So either way, lack of balance will cause you to lose yourself and lose every other thing. Because what does, let me pick from where Benjamin has left. This woman who has really built a man who has been there supporting their vision, and they forgot theirs. What happens at the peak of his everything, he feels that he does not deserve you because he has been growing and you refuse to grow. So as much as we want to present women as the victims, women also need to take it upon themselves the responsibility to grow themselves as well. As you grow the other, have your needs met as well.
When you tell us that we as women need to take responsibility, I'm speaking on behalf of all the women. We go to seminars, Joan, and we are told that a good woman is a quiet woman. Ukipiga mdomo bwana ataenda. Ukikataa kumuosha miguu ataenda mahali anaoshwa miguu. So what do you want as women to do?
So, do you have a brain of your own? At that point, you're told what to do. Do you have a brain of your own? Patricia, we have to be proactive in making our lives better. The responsibility of being healthy is mine, woman or man. If the two individuals work on being healthy in their own personal growth, healing the baggages they moved with from where they came from, if the two partners do that, they will be ready to build each other. Now, that is one way that they are going to be dealing with the singleness. Because both of you will be proactive building this marriage, none of you will be single. But if one is left doing for the other, they are single as they allow this other person to enjoy the marriage. But where are they?
Now.
So if you go to seminar and they tell you to be subdued in the name of being submissive, don't just listen to the speaker. Don't just listen to the message. Always examine the messenger. Some people preach toxic submission to justify the domineering lives they lead. Because it's impossible for a person to speak something and it does not rhyme with what they believe. You will see this is not them. But when you hear a person telling you, women, if it's a man speaking, always take it with a pinch of salt, even if he's a man of God. You're listening to a man of God, not God of the man. It's not God talking, it's a man. Okay? So we are saying, don't buy every advice you hear wholesale, because in many conferences you hear women being told submission is the key. Submission is the key. If you submit to a 40 authority, you'll be crushed. God told you the man you marry will rule over you, but he asked you to choose the ruler you want. So if you choose a lion, you'll be mauled. A healthy man is supposed to be a lion outside there and a lamb at home. Out there he should roar and hunt and bring and protect. At home he should be playful, easy, friend. In fact, true love should have 3 levels. You should love each other like siblings. The same way you'd have loved your brother. That love should be there in your love.
Benjamin, there are places, there are people who you only need, akikuangalia hivi, you should know what he wants. If he comes, you should,
You see, I'm not describing a victim and a victimizer. I'm not describing a controller and a codependent. That's what you're thinking about. I'm talking about a healthy relationship. I should care about my girl.
Now, you brought in something that I really wanted you to bring in. You just mentioned the word that is, what is healthy? Good. Because now we need to understand what is healthy so that we are able to discern.
Healthy is a union between two well-adjusted individuals. Okay? I'm saying when two well-adjusted individuals come together mainly for companionship, not for control. Be careful, daughters. If you grew up under a controlling father, control is attractive, it's familiar to you. Even if it's painful, you're used to it. When you come from a domineering father and you don't heal before you go to your own marriage, in between, you'll be attracting men who just look like your father.
No, but you also brought in something also very important. When you tell us heal, No, we are okay.
So let me tell you the 3 elements I was saying. A healthy relationship to me has, you must be able to care about each other like siblings. You must be able to care about each other like friends, and then like lovers. Lovers is the bottom. Up here, even when the romance is not burning, I should miss you like a friend. I should care about you, fight about your well-being.
Are you talking about an African setup?
Let me pick and add to the healthy list. This person has to be able to make good decisions for themselves and be able to tell what good decisions are. So that means there's no one making decisions for the other. They have to sit in partnership. That's a healthy relationship. Number 4, there's no one who domineers the other. They will sit, have a discussion. If it is one person passing all the time, then the other one is passive. That is not a healthy setup. So if 2 people sit, they have to make decisions, think through, and say no and say yes. That is allowed. In a healthy relationship, there has to be a no from either party from time to time.
No.
Man or woman. Yes. No is
Even
a godly
in the bedroom,
answer.
Jovan, a
Yes.
woman has the right to say no.
Yes. There's nowhere you cannot say no. Because even in the bedroom, if what is propagating is abuse, you still have a right to say no. It's just that no is negotiable in a healthy relationship. It's not like, no, I will not do. It is no because of 1, 2, 3. Then no allows negotiation. No is not a final answer. So if this marriage, no, one person passes and the other one says yes, 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 there is a problem. They are not healthy.
But tell me something. There's this couple. They live in the same house, but different bedrooms. And they are living in these different bedrooms for the children. Is this woman or is this man married or not married? Where do they fall? Ideally, they are behaving like single people. Although in the society, they present marriage. And those are the ones we are calling single in marriage. Mm-hmm. If one man or one woman makes their own decisions, the other one has no idea what goes on in the life of the other, then you're strangers. You're single in marriage. Okay? Can I ask you a very first question? How does it get to this point? How does it get to, were we not married from the beginning, or how does it end up to
we
now
can
being
start
single?
together and grow in different ways. Or maybe we married for the wrong reasons, or we married at the wrong time. And I strongly advise women to stop marrying before 25. You don't know yourself yet. Maybe you're going to be a global corporate woman. But before then, you look very domestic, harmless, simple, and a girl who is being given handouts by the guy because he's ahead of you.
For that.
But a few years after that, you'll have overtaken him. He cannot recognize the girl he married. So I strongly encourage girls to first evolve to a certain degree, to know yourself what you're becoming, and know who can fit where you're going. Look at all powerful women. Most of them, they divorce when they become powerful. Because the man they hooked up, because the man they picked up cannot cope with who she has become. So many times I encourage ladies, don't rush because your age mates are marrying. Be so aware of your purpose in life. I ask ladies to think first of their calling before they think of a marriage. Don't couple before you call. Check your calling before you go to your coupling. Check your destiny before you think of my family. I need to have a home of my own. Especially if you come from a sick home. You're so hungry to find peace that you're trying to create a home with anything. So anything with the trousers that come close to you is a candidate. Anybody who sells you any compliment, because I've never had it, is a candidate. And soon you get pregnant. Now that you're pregnant, let's just come together. They come together. And you don't know what you're dealing with. You couple with a wolf, thinking this is a man. Later he starts backing the way he moves back and wondering, I created what I was blaming my mother for creating. It's because we jump into marriage when we are blind, when we are flying blind with our future. That's why we sabotage it all. Actually, many of them are non-starters. I've attended weddings and I could bet $1 million this one won't go anywhere.
The second part of
during the wedding.
The second part of that is growth is continuous, progressive, and consistent. Both parties. She has said most women, when they become powerful, they leave their marriage. Okay. The question is, as they were growing, what was the partner doing? Actually, one of the reasons for singleness in marriage is when one partner is being progressive and the other one is constant.
Doing nothing about it.
Yes. And that is very true for all of us, even as we are seated here.
True.
And please restate this. Don't crucify my powerful women. Let me defend them. They don't become powerful and leave the home. They become somebody and they are not compatible. This marriage dies a natural death.
True.
The man becomes so toxic, begins to hold you back, blame you, uzileta ma PhD hapa, ni vile uko na pesa nyingi, you think now I'm not useless, siku hizi hata unisikizi, siku hizi unatembea sijui wapi, nisikia ulienda Tanzania, nimesikia uko na wanaume wengine, nipigie picha nijue uko wapi, piga video nikuone. He becomes a monitor, monitoring every step of your life. He can't fit where you're going. I want to ask women to think about the wavelength of their thinking. Please check the frequency modulation of your vision.
Now, let me ask you. Yes,
I have a
women.
question, though. I have a question to answer what he said.
Ask.
Because the question is, this: if someone says, because you are having, a seminar in Tanzania or in South Africa, send me a video, otherwise I will not know who you're dealing with. That is the point of defining boundaries and saying, listen, trust, I have not given you reasons not to trust me. Hapo ndo nawekanga boundaries mapema, so that you're not beginning to take videos to prove that you're doing nothing wrong. Boundary making is part of healthy, where you say no, if for the reason I am sending is for you to trust me, it's not okay. We need to renegotiate this trust. Begin to say no to things that violate you early enough.
A quick one, Benjamin. Why do you think I'm still on that point of powerful women? Because clearly what you said is really true. It's undisputable, and I agree with you. Where are the men when the women are maturing?
Majority of men are egotistical, know-it-all, selfish, full of themselves. They won't come to counseling. Ask her. Men.
I wanted to ask
women
you,
are the majority.
Therapy, do men come?
They come. She deals with the couples, but I have not checked with her yet. But when I do see couples, it's the woman who pushed for the agenda. Majority of in churches, in counseling, in every place where it's knowledge being sold, the major customer is women. Can I tell you? Can I tell you where men are the majority? Drinking tens, football, betting. And there's a level 4 in hospital. I think I heard there's one set apart for motorbike accidents. So there also men are the majority. So you find that men are the majority in prisons, men are the majority in the wrong places.
Let me be the defender of
the one
men,
reason.
for one.
The one reason.
Even for one.
The one reason. The one reason women are overtaking and we are crying about boy child is because the boy father is modeling sick masculinity.
Yeah, let me defend men here. In my counseling sessions, I have had men initiating. So as much we talk about it, men are also embracing. It's slow. Not as much as women are. It's slow. But we also need to appreciate that society is waking up to begin to mentor these boys we're talking about. Men are taking it up. And if men are watching us out there, let them know it's also their responsibility to take up and begin the journey. We will not have boys who are healthy unless a woman cannot mentor a boy. That is fact.
It's been real, guys. We've been able to agree and understand and establish that you can be married and single at the same time. So what do you do if that is your reality? Where do you go? Watch out for the next episode. And remember, we would want to hear your feedback. Send us your questions, your suggestions, your comments, or even topics you'd really want us to discuss. Our social media platforms are Tabasamu Tena on all the social media platforms. Till next time, stay blessed.